Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Video number 2, double upload day, and it's an unexpected one because we received the news earlier on today of the injury to Reece James and how he is out for at least 3 months as he has undergone a hamstring injury. So that was video number 1. I will leave a link for that right here so you can go and check it out if you haven't done so already. We get into the detail of the uncomfortable situation and uncomfortable conversations that we now need to have about Reece James, because that's the reality. But we're going to start off this video as a little bit of a continuation from earlier on, because there has been a little update and I'd like to give you guys a good medical perspective as to what it seems like is going on here and what the options are. So we're about to get into that. But before we do, and also the rest that's going to come in this video, and trust me, as always, when we're talking about Chelsea nowadays, your mind gets blown. So yeah, we're going to get into it. Before we do, make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I have uploaded. On top of that, smash the like button if you have enjoyed, or if you do enjoy this, and by the end, if you have enjoyed it, then much appreciated. Let's get cracking. Socials on screen and in the description as well. Thank you very much. Now, Reece James, what is going on, right? Let's get right into it. This is the latest. Well-placed sources are indicating Reece James will be unavailable for a long period, while an eventual operation to repair the damaged hamstring was not being ruled out on Monday night. So, this is this seems like the latest is it seems like the option is there. It does also, there have been indicators that apparently Reece James is being advised by people within the club to go and have surgery, right? But it's not as easy as that, apparently. And Reece James, as Fraser Fletcher I've also seen has said, Reece James's prime concern seems to be that he doesn't want to miss the Euros. So now we understand where the hesitation is coming from. I think that if he had done it before, then he would have been all right by now. Do you know what I mean? But now we're having to talk about doing surgery. It would mean that summer is a risk, because he's already going to be out till it's deemed as March. Already some are saying no, it's going to be April. Let's be honest. The tournament starts in June. He's just not going to make it. He will not be in contention for the Euros, even as it stands. So if he goes and has surgery, he's definitely not playing the Euros. I would say, as a response to that, if that is the case, Reece, you're not 32. You're 24. You've got time. Yeah. Sort this problem out once and for all. And don't worry, it seems like England won't be winning the Euros with the way that we're moving at the moment. I think it's pretty safe that we can come out and say that, yeah? We'll see what manager comes after and how we're going to be looking for the next tournament. But you will be there for that. And I'm hoping you will be at your prime level of fitness, right? Peak Reece James, prime Reece James, hopefully, if this problem can be sorted. But this problem has to be sorted. Now, in relation to surgery, there is one complication. And I did not want to hear this, I'll be honest. So let's get into it. This is from Dr. Rajpal Brar, who is a sports, if I'm not mistaken, a sports physical therapist. Actually, he's a sports scientist, but he is a physical therapist, fitness and movement coach. He's in sports, and he can give us the medical lowdown. So here it is. Another significant hamstring injury for Reece James, some reporting 3+ months out, which would indicate a rupture. Right, caught in the vicious injury cycle, where previous muscle injury is the greatest indicator of future injury. Hamstrings are notorious for re-injury, loss of fitness, etc. He goes on to explain here, for those asking about surgery, it's not as simple as having surgery will fix it. It depends on multiple factors and specifics, the majority of which we don't know. If it was as simple as just have surgery, we wouldn't see recurring injuries occurring as often as we do. So this is where I have to ask the question, because as I said, we truly don't know in terms of who is guiding this situation. Is it Reece, the player, who is insisting, no, I don't want any surgery? Is it not possible to have a surgery? Does the surgery not help? Or is it the club that's telling him, or the medical staff telling him, don't do surgery, you're going to be okay without it? The truth of the matter is, the ones that we have seen, who have had hamstrings, who have had recurring injuries, who have then gone to have surgery, have managed to put it to bed once and for all. N'Golo Kante is in fact an example that we saw today, scoring an absolute screamer over in Saudi. I didn't know he could shoot like that, by the way, but N'Golo Kante, what an absolute player, what a specimen, world class. But yeah, go and look at his goal if you haven't seen it today, for Al Ittihad. Scored a screamer from the edge of the box or just outside the box, put it in the top top corner. So there's that. On top of that, that seems to be a good indicator of if you do have surgery, it can be put to bed. The reality is, if Reece James can't have surgery, then we need to take the conversation from earlier on and elevate it. Because I'm going to be honest, it seems like, I don't want it to be the case, but it seems like he gets injured, he recovers, he will get injured again. Unless there's a way to fix and recover this injury once and for all, which we would like to think is surgery. If surgery is not an option and it will make it worse, then respectfully, I am scared. Because I don't trust his hamstring any longer. I don't trust it. There's no way that he recovers, comes back, and it doesn't happen again. It will happen again. I'm scared he'll go down the same route as Michael Owen. If you remember Michael Owen and the amount of hamstrings he used to get a hamstring every week. Respectfully, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but you get the gist. Every single time he comes back, he's out, he's injured. And he had to call it a day. Especially after him twisting his knee at the World Cup against Sweden. That was the end of it. After that, Michael Owen, game over. Was never the same. So, yeah, I worry for Reece. I hope that there's a way out. Now, that's the latest on Reece. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. It will be good to hear. Let's move to generic Chelsea and club stuff, because we've had news today. So let's get into it. Big news. Exclusive from David Ornstein. Premier League clubs have voted in favour of limiting amortisation of new contracts to a maximum of 5 years. Deals can still be longer, but amortisation can't. Previously no cap, but the Premier League are now in line with UEFA rules, will not be backdated. So, Chelsea no longer have the loophole. What does mean isn't the fact that we've used the loophole. There's actual, you know what's funny? There's Chelsea fans that are going, we used the loophole and now no one else can. I was like that one time. Until I came to realize the situation. We exploited the loophole for nothing. With the way that we're moving, the way we're playing, and what we have in this squad, the limitations we're talking about in the squad after having spent $1 billion, we've used this loophole of amortisation to bring players to the club, and we're 12th. You've got non-Chelsea fans that are looking and going, you had the loophole, but you didn't use it well, did you? And I'm looking at them going, yeah, they got a point. They got a point. Now, you'd think, on the back of this new rule that is now in place, that might wake some people up, right? We now can still sign players on low contracts, but the amortisation and the reason why we got them on long contracts was because of the amortisation, but now that has been limited to 5 years, right? UEFA have implemented that in advance. The Premier League are now in line. We can't offer amortisation on a contract for more than 5 years. Done. So this loophole, so-called loophole that we used, which, we didn't use it well, is no longer there. You'd think that would somehow wake some people up to understand that, maybe we got to change the structure, right? Maybe we got to go back to basics, back to reality, back to what needs to be done to actually get some players in logically on normal length contracts for normal wages, and let's do things the orthodox way. Yeah, you'd think. Well, no, apparently not. Not to Chelsea. Here it is. Chelsea still remain committed to signing elite young players on long contracts. That's a paradox. Elite young players. What does that mean? What's elite young players? For me, the way that I understand elite young players is Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, right? But we'll just start naming all these top tier youngsters that are 22, 23, 24, that are world beaters, killing it at the top of the game right now, right? Those are elite young talents. Well, if you want them, right, then respectfully, you got to destroy your newfound wage structure, and you have to actually go above 150k, which you're deeming as the absolute maximum limit that we can never cross. If not, it will be a sin. It will be a sin to go over that, right? According to these owners and this board. So what defines elite young talent? What, trying to find in the data and going and finding more 16-year-olds? That's elite young talent and we're going to keep going for. They don't learn. Well, yeah, apparently so. Apparently they don't. Here's more. Chelsea have insisted that they plan to keep handing out 8-year contracts despite the loophole that allowed to spread transfer fees over more than 5 years being closed. It's a long day. It's a long day. They don't get it. They don't want to get it. They don't want to get it. They don't understand. But they will never understand. They want to find out the hard way. They want to find out the hard way. If this is the case, these owners and this board are crazy. I can actually come on and say, you lot are mad. You lot are crazy beyond belief. And you know what? You're so crazy, it's actually impressive. I'm impressed. I'm impressed at how crazy you guys actually are. It's top tier level of crazy. I don't think I've seen it before. I have to applaud it. This is incredible, right? It's absolutely bonkers. How they actually think there's no consequence from this. At first, look, let's be honest. Let's be honest. All cards on the table. When we were making these signings, we were hearing these signings, we were seeing these players coming through, we were all gassed. Maybe except the minor few, yeah? I was certainly gassed. I was looking and thinking, whoa, this is a lot of money, this is a lot of intent, yeah? This is a lot of a statement. We're going in and, yeah, these young lads, we don't really know about them. Maybe know a few things, but we didn't expect them to be flipping, sending us to 12th, did we? So we're like, yeah, maybe this is something to be able to build on. Maybe these are going to be upgrades on the players that we got rid of, which was the intention. This was our intention. I was looking at it from the lens of these players, I'm hoping, are upgrades on what we've let go. Clearly, crazily, in fact, so far, not the case. We've regressed hard. So the fact that after all of this, and now we have to call the situation out for what it is because we've given it some time, and it's clear to see now, it's obvious, it's not like the start, where it was guesswork. Now we're seeing the results. It's failing. It's failing hard. They still want to go down this model even after the amortisation rule change. Even the one reason why it was deemed why they were doing this, right, in order to spread the payments across the entire length of the contract, even that's been limited now. We're still going to plow down this model. We're still going to go in for these elites, according to the data, young talent, 16-year-olds, whatnot, wherever, right? And we're going to, no problem, we will amortise over 5 and we will sign them to 8. It's absolute insanity. It's absolute. After what we've seen so far, they still want to go down this route. They are mad. Ali McCoist said something very interesting. Check this out. Long contracts are a problem. It's massively evident at Chelsea. Psychologically, it gives you the confidence and security no matter how you perform. You are becoming 100% reliant on them over a long period. This is why I had a problem. I'm going to try and get it up here, actually. I had a problem with what I saw earlier on. Right? I had the problem. Here we go. Here it is. Read this. James had planned a Christmas night out for him and his teammates in London on Sunday night, following the Everton game, described as a bonding session. The players returned to London and headed straight for the Bagatelli restaurant in Mayfair before moving on to Tape nightclub. Pochettino had given his blessing for the evening and did not feel the need to cancel it in the aftermath of another disappointing result. What Ali McCoy's just said about long contracts, right, is absolutely key here. When players feel they've got job security, at that age as well, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. If they were on a 2-year deal, for example, and they know that if they put in stinker after stinker, they're not going to go to another top club after this contract runs out, and chances are the contract's not going to be renewed. They're going to be put up for sale. And what happens? You're probably going to attract, I don't know, Bolton. Do you think they're going to allow that? No, that's where they're going to be like, oh man, I've got to get a move on. This is not good enough. And then they get the pressure. These lads now don't have it. They're signed to 8-year deals. They can relax on the beach for the next 7 years and they will be paid. No pressure, especially on young lads that need to be pressurized because they don't know. They need to be set an example. I have a problem with what they done after the game on Saturday night. They came back from Liverpool, landed back to London. Yeah, they went for a meal and then they went out to Tape. That was deemed as a team bonding session. I'm going to use the reference and the example that John Terry used on the John Obi Mikel podcast, where he said when we had a bad result, right? Him as captain, he would say that I would try and think of a way to be able to try and get the lads back up, in terms of the morale. So I would think of a night out or something like that, and we would, we would have a reset and go from there, right? But he also mentioned other key details. If in training, after a poor result, you best believe there's no laughing, there's no smiling, there's no jokes. Everyone's on it, everyone's focused, everyone's thinking we need to fix this. This is unacceptable. If there was laughing and joking, it was deemed unacceptable. When you're setting that much of a standard in training and you're putting that much in to the point where he even come out and said that the training sessions were harder than the games on the weekend. We were so well prepped for games because training was at such a high level that we'd rock up to the weekend and it would feel like a piece of cake. You think we're at that level? We're not at that level. These players are not being pushed to the limit. But after a loss, for a reset, they go to Tape. For a team bonding session, they go to Tape. For those that don't know Tape, yeah, one of the most elite nightclubs in Mayfair. Right? You go to Tape, trust me, it's not going to be a case where you're just going to having a conversation with your mate for the whole night. Wine, women and song, that is all that goes on in there. That's not team bonding. That's not team bonding. That's a place to go and forget your problems. Yeah? We are not in a position like we used to be where some players can just forget the problem, forget the loss. Yeah, it's one loss, it's a bad day, it can happen, let's just eliminate it from your mind. We can't eliminate this from our minds. We are in a situation where this doesn't need a reset, it needs attention. These players need focus, but they're not being set the example. I've not got a problem with these players wanting to go on a night out. They're 21, they're 22, they're 23, they're 24. Of course they'd want to go on the lash every flipping weekend. Of course they would. Yeah? We were all that age at one point. It's one of the motives. Yeah, man, let's gonna go out. Why not? Of course they want to go out. But they need to be set the example. They need to be told by someone to set the example and show them, no, there has to be sacrifice. If you want to be at the best, if you want to be at the top, you need to make a sacrifice. It doesn't mean that you turn the corner after every loss and you think I'm going to hit the nightclub to try and forget it all. No. And then you rock up to training and it's all laughs and jokes and hugs and this and where's the levels? That's the problem. So I've not got a problem with the players wanting to go to a nightclub. No. When things are going well, by all means, when you're putting everything that needs to be in, by all means, go and reward yourselves. You deserve it. But there needs to be a sense of reward and punishment. Not punishment to a sense, but reward and hard work. When it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious. When it's time for a reward, it's time to chill. It's time to chill. I deserve it. We don't deserve it. This is the point. Before we deserved it, we don't deserve it now. So that's one thing. But another key problem is the fact that the contracts are so flipping long Yeah, many of these players, I guarantee, cannot be put under the pressure that is required because they just know, deep down in the back of their heads, they know they're secure. They're secure. Don't need to bat an eye. Yeah, they'll put in a bit. But I'm talking about that pressure that you need in order to be at your very best. I'll give an example. It's like when someone gets you so angry, right? You're about to have a bust up. You're about to have a fight, right? You replicate that emotion that gives you that extra bit of strength. Try and get that in training. It's probably not going to happen in normal training, you with yourself, or you with a punch bag, or you on pads, or you with sparring. It's not the same. But when you're in the midst of it and you are under that pressure and you got that adrenaline going through, you have to perform. There is no option. That's where you get the best out of yourself. We don't have those levels in training. We don't have it. And on top of that, with these contracts, these players will not feel the pressure. So there's also another piece that I saw from the Elastico on X that I want to show you guys. Check this out. This is in relation to Chelsea voting in favour of limiting amortisation of new contracts to a maximum of 5 years. So yeah, for those that don't understand, the Premier League clubs done a vote. Chelsea voted in favour of limiting the amortisation now. Why? Because they don't want other clubs to go down the same loophole as we did. Yeah? But check this out. For anyone wondering why Chelsea would do this, the club has already benefited massively from it with the squad overhaul. Transfers will decrease significantly in volume. So Chelsea has benefited and now others cannot in the same way. Plus the writing was on the wall. It's better optics to agree. That I agree with. It's better to, you know that if you vote against it, you're going to look like a clown. So you might as well just vote for it and save some face, right? But anyway, there's more. What people don't discuss is amortizing huge fees and long contracts for many years eventually catches up to you since you are spreading out that spend over many years. Yes, it means you can spend a lot up front, but it ends up decreasing your future transfer spend because you are still paying for previous windows, and that adds up. So that spend was always going to come down or need to be made up for by selling players, which is why we constantly see rumours about selling Gallagher or others. Basically, we found a way to spend a ton of money that would normally break FFP to do a one-time massive squad overhaul, but we could never keep going that way, and now others can't do what we did. On top of that, as he said, and it's a good opinion piece, which is why I'm showing you, and I think that's spot on. It also means that we can't be spending that much volume in future, and now we're in a situation where we have to. Not in terms of the same volume, but we got to make sure we get in 2 or 3 lads of experience, of quality, and if it means going above the 150k wage limit that we've set for ourselves, apparently, we have to go above it. If we want to bring in the players that are going to bring the quality, you're going to have to pay quality wages. It's as simple as that. It's the name of the game. But we're in this situation now. You're going to be paying for previous windows as well, unless if you sell that player and another club buys out that contract and they give you that fee plus whatever's on top of it, which is going to balance out those books, and you end up in a profit by selling the player, which is what we discussed yesterday. So that is something that is absolutely crucial. It's crucial. In terms of how we move forward, it brings more skepticism as to what spending are we going to be able to do. And again, do we trust? Do we even trust what we're going to go and get to try and rectify the situation? I don't trust them. On top of that, we have to acknowledge what happened in the States just a couple of days ago. Let me show you. Here it is. Creative accounting, similar to the method used by Todd Bowley at Chelsea, is at the core of Shohei Ohtani's new record-setting $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The LA Dodgers paid $700 million for this guy. It's a $700 million contract. I'll repeat. It's a $700 million contract. And how long is the contract? Even though I think he's 32. How long is the contract? 10 years. 10-year contract. In the States, there is no relegation. There is no promotion. There isn't any of that. It's a franchise and all the teams are part of the franchise, and that's it. It stays the same forever, right? The only promotion you get is some of the players on a college level that end up getting professional contracts. That's the only thing that exists. So there's no consequences, which is why they have freedom with the funds that they have to go and do these sort of things, because they're in the same league. Always. Yeah, we can sacrifice 2 years. We'll be back in 5. Yeah. They're always competing within the same environment. Always. Same division, same teams, never changes. Here, that model doesn't apply. You screw up a bit too much, mate, we will be in the championship. And don't think it's impossible. Because over a calendar year, we are the worst placed Premier League team right now for 2023. So keep going down that route. We will end up in that battle. We just will. It's crazy that we're even talking like this. But this is why it's key that this model needs to be destroyed. What we're trying to move down and do is not working, and it shall not work. And on top of that, can I mention, I've got to emphasize this, because I saw earlier on TalkSport, I saw Simon Jordan mention, I saw others mention, I've seen other parts of the mainstream, I've seen other YouTube channels say it, and I'm like, yo, this needs some clarity, right? I've seen a couple others clarify this, and Miz, the other side of the coin, Johnny Minerals yesterday. And I'm like, you know what, I've got to mention this as well. This isn't Todd Boehly's Chelsea. Can we stop saying that? And I did find it a bit weird and confusing as to why people just keep referencing Todd. He's a minority shareholder. And he's coming with Mark Walter. So for those that don't even know who Mark Walter is, go and look at Todd Boehly's owners, all the clubs that he runs in the United States. He runs that alongside Mark Walter. Mark Walter is also part of the Chelsea ownership. Go and look at that. But he has a minority share. He's the face that the consortium have put forward to be the face of the consortium. Yeah? Bedad Egbali and Jose Feliciano, who run Clearlake Capital, they're the majority shareholders of the football club. They own 60% of Chelsea. But we forget that. No one mentions, everyone's Todd Boehly. Listen, Todd Boehly is a part of it. Yes, he's the face. Yes, but he's not it all. He's not everything. If it really came down to it on the table of the ownership, right, of the consortium, if it really came down to it, and I don't think this has happened, but I'm just saying, I'm clarifying it. If it really came down to the bare bottom of the barrel, right, Egbali could tell Todd Boehly, shut up, and he would shut up. If he really wanted to, he could tell him. I have 60% of this. It's my final decision. If he really wanted to go down that route, he could go down that route. Now, whether there's legal implications in terms of the way that it was set up and all that, we don't know. But it just in terms of basics and piece of the pie, 60%, he's the majority shareholder. Well, they are the majority shareholders. Clearly, Capital run Chelsea Football Club. With Todd Boehly, Mark Walter, Wyss, Hansburg Wyss, he owns 5% of the club, and you got 25% of the rest of the consortium that all have really minority shares. So it's not just Todd. Stop saying Todd Boehly's Chelsea. That was one time before. We had Roman's Chelsea, where he was the only guy. It's not just Todd. Todd and many other people are on the table, and Todd is the minority, he's the face. He's the face. But he's not the majority. Bedad, Jose, Feliciano, Clearlake Capital, they are. So they come as a package. So put them into one package. You call them out, you call all of them. That needs to be said. The mainstream still emphasize Todd Boehly's Chelsea. It's not. So that needs to be clarified. And it's the same over in the States. Todd Boehly has a minority in the LA Dodgers, minority in the Sparks, minority in the Lakers. So this is what I'm saying. It's purely financial on their part. It's purely financial. It's investments. Got to be clarified. But it goes to show the model that they're using in the United States is what they've brought in. What they use in American sports is what they're trying to implement here. It's not going to work, my friend. It's not going to work. You're dreaming. And we're seeing it now. It's clear now. Like now it's clear. Before at least there were questions. Now it's clear. It could not be more clearer. It's clear as crystal. Clear as day. Bring all the analogies you want. It's clear. So let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And we're going to wrap up. I have to show you this. I have to show you this, yeah? This is... Because it's respectful. And I'll explain why. Official, Giorgio Chiellini. 39 has just announced his retirement from football on social media. 827 pro appearances, 52 goals, 33 assists and 25 trophies won. A senior career from 2000 till 2023. Simply outstanding. Grazie, Giorgio. That is an outstanding career. And just look at that picture on the left. Just look. You don't get them like that anymore. You don't. You don't, man. You don't. Culture Cams used this and referenced it very well, saying real men. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm going to show you that again. Man, Chiellini, absolutely fantastic player. All the best in your retirement. Grazie. Absolutely. Grazie, grazie, grazie. And grazie for the one line that we will forever be remembered, that you will forever be remembered. We will forever remember you for. This is the history of the Tottenham. This is the history of the Tottenham. Yes, man, you will be that guy. So, grazie, grazie mille. And, well, thank you very much. And good luck in retirement. And that's an example. That's an example of proper player. Proper player, man. Proper. No nonsense. Man, there's not enough of them left. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. So thank you all so much for watching. Do not forget, hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. And I will catch all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. Don't forget socials on screen and in the description right now. Thank you very much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you tomorrow. Take care. And peace.